Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. I'm Eric, and on today's show, we're going to do an unboxing of a WSM 22.5 inch smoker. I'm really happy to get this thing because my last smoker lasted over 10 years before it kind of got beat up and wasn't really usable very well. So this thing here is great. It's got lots of improvements over my last model, and I can't wait to get this thing out of the box. So if you guys have bought one of these recently or think about buying it, hopefully this will help you, see how to put it together, and will, be a pretty good experience. So join me as I unbox and assemble a 22.5 inch Weber Smokey Mountain smoker. All right, let's get this thing open and see what's in here, right? Should be a smoker. All right, first thing is we got some grates here. So this is the lower grate. This is going to be the one that you have towards the fire pit area at the very bottom where you put your charcoal and stuff. Feels a little greased up. They probably did that to keep it from rusting in transit. The next two pieces are the bigger grills, the ones that you actually do your cooking on. In this smoker, they're the same size. Get it out here. The booger is kind of heavy here. In the previous version, one was big and one was a little smaller. They weren't the same size. So the top one was a little bit bigger by maybe like an inch or so. So this is kind of cool. This should be the same size as your grill. So if you're used to cooking size. So what's awesome about this is you can lay a whole slab of ribs down and not have it touch the side, right? Allegedly. We'll have to give that a try, right? Fling this away. I don't know, we got some goodies, so we'll need that, right? Next, we're gonna pull out all kinds of goodies. This looks like a cover. They said one was included, so you don't need to buy one unless you want some insurance. Here's a little piece. Don't quite know what that's for, but anyways. This looks a lot like a water bowl. This version, the water bowl is a lot bigger than the previous one, so that's my guess. And this is the ring that you put your charcoal in at the very bottom. All right, now we're getting to some fun parts here. So this is your little door here. First of all, this is the main area. This is where you're gonna put the shelves or the racks and stuff. This is your little door. And this is quite an improvement over the old school one. Thing's about to fall over. This is, if I can get the thing on, this is going to be the bottom of the smoker because it's got the vents down there. And lastly, this is the lid, and you can see it's already got the nice built-in thermometer here, gauge looking thing, and then there's the controls for the exhaust. So this is really nice. So obviously, we don't really have to put a whole lot of this together, mostly just the legs, I'm guessing, but we'll take a look at the directions, right? So that's next. All right, this box of mystery stuff contains the hardware, such as some screws and nuts and washers. The 3 legs we'll be putting on the bottom, which is sitting here on the table. And I don't know if it's a handle or what. I'm thinking some of these things help hold the water bowl thing in place. but we'll take a look, right? Because we have the manual. Okay, some of the parts we'll be interested in right off the get-go is, here's 3 legs. We'll be messing with the heat shield in a moment. For the screws and nuts and bolts and things, we have 14 screws, flathead. We have 6 regular washers. We have 14 nuts, and we have 14 of these non-metallic washers. These will all go on the outside for each screw as a way to help seal up the device. These we will only use in the bottom area when attaching the legs. For actual tools, you'll need a flathead screwdriver. You can use either an adjustable wrench, or you can use an 11mm socket or a 7/16 socket. A beer is optional. Near the beginning of the manual is an exploded parts diagram. We're interested in a 22-inch today. However, this is just showing you the parts. It has nothing to do with assembly. For assembly, you need to go to the back. You can either go out to some site here that's got pretty pictures on the internet somewhere, or you just follow this stuff. This is kind of like a really high-level exploded parts to show you some of these parts. Also, we have these parts here as well. And they also show you how many you should have. We should have 14 bolts or screws. We do. The nuts we have. 14 of these non-metallic washers. We have that. 6 metallic washers. We have that. This part will be later. This is for the handle at the top. Goes on there. And then here's the grills. And we'll deal with that stuff later. Here's the legs. Here's the support for the grates. 14-inch we're not caring about. 18-inch we're not caring about. 22-inch, now we care about this. So they talk about how to attach the heat shield to the leg, to these little slots, and then once you get that on, now you can start to use the screws and washers and nuts to attach the legs to the bottom of the bowl. So let's do that right now. Okay, so number 1 on here is attaching these little guys to the heat shield, which we did right here. Little notch there, notch there, notch there. Just put it through, no tools required. Step number 2 involves attaching the bottom bowl to the legs. You'll see there's 2 holes, one there, one there. There's a total of 3 pairs of holes. Just line them up with the legs, roughly so. Doesn't collapse. And we'll attach the screws. All right, I've already put on 2 of the legs. For me, it was easier to put it up with the device upside down, but that doesn't make good for camera work because then you can't see anything. So now that it's a lot more stable with 2 of the legs on, I'm going to take a screw. We're going to go with the non-metallic washer. Put it through this top hole, for example. Through there. We're going to take a metallic washer with the nut, and we're just going to put them on there loose, and we're going to repeat on the bottom here. Probably not going to see this very well, but the bottom hole we're going to go with the same thing with the non-metallic on the outside. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put the metal washer through on the inside, and then we'll put the nut on the inside after that. Put that down. And then we're just going to go ahead and take the socket here and just, I can kind of hold this with my finger. You don't want to over tighten these screws. You can kind of hear the enamel paint kind of make a little squishing noise. You just need it reasonably tight there. Snug is good. Some of my older grills actually had a little torque device so you don't overscrew and crack things. Now that we have all 3 legs on, you can see the heat shield is nice and secure. He's in that little slot right there. Another one is right there in the slot. You can see the screw right there. See the screw right there, and on the inside, you can see the bolt right there. That's just one set, but overall, there's 3 sets in there. And that right there completes number 1 and 2 on this page. All right, step 3 is pretty easy. We're just gonna go ahead and put down this little guy all the way down. You should probably sit right here on these bolts from the lower leg. Here's your charcoal ring. And when you obviously are getting ready to fire this bad boy up, you're gonna put your charcoal here depending upon how much cook time you want and stuff. That part's easy. Yeehaw. So number 3 is done. Number 4 is not so easy. This is where we're going to use up the rest of our screws and nuts and stuff, putting in the supports for the racks. So let's get to it. To do number 4, we're going to have to put on the middle section here. Fits nice and snug, yay. Now we need to have some fun in here now, right? When putting in the supports for these racks, make sure the part that has this double thingy goes down. The reason is the bottom notch is going to hold the lip of your water pan, and then the top one here holds your lower rack. Okay, so don't do this. It's going to go in like this. As always, we're going to put the non-metallic washer over the screw first. Put that from the outside pointing in. Hook this bad boy up. And then we'll put a nut on there. And we'll do the same thing. Because these do operate independent of each other, we can go ahead and snug them up. We'll do the next one. All right, so I just put on the last of the 4. So we got one right here, one here, one here, one here. So this is where the top of your grate's gonna be. And of course your bottom one's further down and the water pan's down below. So that concludes number 4, and we are now out of hardware other than the handle. So we're good. We don't have any more hard stuff to do here for screws and stuff. We're going to be doing number 5 now, which I believe is some sort of a temperature probe hole. So let's take a look at that. All right, you probably can't see it too good. It's just a hole right here. This is all black, so it's kind of hard to see. They came up with a little clever idea to allow you to put your probes through there as opposed to through the top here. So when you put your lid down, you're cutting into your wires because that's not good for them. This little guy has a little groove through there. So you just put them in there. It doesn't really matter how you do it. They just show them going kind of like this. Number 5, that little pain to deal with, rubber thing there, done. It's bend it, fit it in there, work it around, you'll get it. I think once I got successful, maybe 10 minutes, I almost had Amy do it. Number 6 is just putting in this little door. You're just going to go ahead set that in like that. And then just rotate the knob. It's pretty easy. All these doors have issues where they're still going to be bent enough that they're going to let some smoke out. So over the years, it'll get beat up. But it's oversized enough. Might not be a big deal, who knows. bend it a little bit more. So that guy's done, yay. Next up, number 7. We're gonna put in the water pan and then the 2 grates, yay. All right, the water pan pretty much just goes down in here and it rests on the lower of the 2 things. All right, do you see how there's a little bit of overlap here? This guy here sticks out a little further than what this guy does. So I'm gonna go with the bottom guy, the guy who's a little smaller. Why? Because it is a very tight fit in there. Make sure you do that. See, in the old days, there was quite a bit of difference. So, oh yeah, he goes in much easier now. So you gotta clear these nuts here, and he clearly rests right there. And then of course, you know, this guy's a little bigger because he's gonna rest up here. So, yay! So, that major hurdle is done. Woohoo! We're on number 8 now. We get to deal with the lid. Yeehaw. There's a handle. All right, the last couple of steps are simple, easy. We're gonna put the handles on. They've already welded a basic handle on, but we need to put some plastic parts. You'll see 2 bags looking like this. They're identical. In them, you'll see a Weber and a non. So I'm guessing you put that guy there, put the Weber on top. They kind of fit together. Have a little machine screw. It's a Phillips, so I didn't catch at the beginning. So make sure you get a Phillips screwdriver, right? Screw that in. You'll feel it getting tight. The handle will get tight together. There's really no movement. The screw gets pretty tight, and try not to strip it, of course, but I don't think it's going anywhere. So yeehaw. So that guy's done, but we have one on the front. How's that? All right, we're gonna go ahead and put this guy in. We're gonna go diagonal because that gives him a little bit more room to get in there. It's kind of a tight fit. Get him kind of flat. Before I just try to snap this together, I want to make sure I start on one end and kind of go to the other end. If it doesn't fit in right, then it's not ready to go. I just lowered him a little bit and boom, he fits a lot better. Nice and smooth. So, if it doesn't go together the first time, just have a little patience. All right, it's nice and tight, nice and smooth. So here's our fully assembled WSM, the front handle here, and we have a top handle there. It comes off nice and easy. I hope you found this video informative and possibly entertaining, and that if you have bought a WSM or are planning on it, I hope this helps you. They're not that hard to put together, there's not that many parts. But sometimes reading manuals can always be scary, right? So hopefully this was a good instruction for you. But hopefully you'll watch our videos and we'll obviously learn from them. We did a atomic buffalo turd ABT. It was our very first video 6-7 years ago, however long it's been. And that was our first use of the Weber, and we kind of showed that one in detail. If you want to watch that, that might be helpful. But my next video will show how to cook this delicious smoked chuck roast. So if you're interested in that, watch the next upload, and we'll show you how we prepared the meat and got the smoker running and everything and cooked it. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and a like. Leave comments, of course. Subscribe to our website. Turn on the bell for the notifications of the uploads and stuff, and go to our website at www.amylearnstocook.com. She's also on Twitter and Facebook at Amy Learns to Cook, and she's on Instagram at Cookin' with Amy. Now let's eat.